Okay, today we're going to kind of put everything together. We are going to do simple and compound. Sometimes you'll be solving for interest, sometimes you'll be solving for account balance, sometimes you'll be solving for what is the principal. So let's get started. My class says you're going to have 2 days to finish this. And I'm more than happy to let you work with somebody. Okay? Remember, you have to read the question. Okay? This is the first thing. You got to remember to read the question to see what it wants, whether it's interest or account balance. Look at the last sentence, and that usually will tell you what it's trying to get at. Simple interest formula finds interest. Okay? That's why it's called I equals PRT. P times R times T equals interest. To find the account balance, you must add the interest to the principal. Compound interest formula finds account balance. That is why it goes A equals P parentheses 1 plus R parentheses to the power of time. To find interest, you must subtract the principal from the account balance. So, you have to know what you're trying to solve for. That is the message. You have to read the question. You can't just assume, okay? All right, a lot of these are going to have 2 or 3 steps to them, and that's why if you work with somebody, you'll be less likely to make mistakes. You also have a couple of days. There's only 11 problems, but believe me, these are going to be a little more complicated, some of them. A bank offers 2 different types of interest on savings account. Account pay 1 pays 3% simple interest. Account 2 pays 3.5% interest compounded annually. Deposits of $900 are made into one account of each type. So you know that here is your principal, and you're going to put it into this one, and you're going to put it into this one. No additional withdrawals or deposits are made. What is the amount of interest earned? So we're looking for interest in each account at the end of the year. So I'm going to have 2 answers for this, aren't I? Okay? It didn't say in both accounts what's the total interest. It asked for what is the interest in each account. Okay? So I'm going to have to do a simple interest and compound interest. You will need your formula charts out today. There is no way around it. I don't remember all these formulas until I start using them on a regular basis. So please get your formula charts out. Oh, look, I've got mine. Handy dandy. This is like my little chart here. And I've got simple interest, compound interest. I don't even care if you go to the top of your page on your worksheet and write simple and write the formula out for simple. I equals PRT. And this would be on your practice page, not your notes page. And account balance, or I'm sorry, compound. I'm doing it wrong. Compound. You write, well, can't even spell compound today. Man. A equals P times 1 plus R to the power of T. Okay? Now, remember down here, it said simple interest formula finds interest. To find the account balance, you must add the interest to the principal. So, if I need account balance from simple, I'm going to do P plus I equals account balance. If I'm on compound and I want to know the interest that I made, I'm going to have to do I equals, what is it? Account balance subtract principal. Okay? So just opposites. So here, I've got simple. So account 1 I'm going to set up my formula for that. 3%. 3% divided by 100. So I'm going to have 3 divided by 100 to give me my what? That gives me my interest in decimal form. So that is 0.03. Okay? And I'm just going to do both interest since I'm at it. 3.5 divided by 100. And I get 0.035. Okay? Now remember, in order to get that third digit out there, you have to have your computer on float mode. Okay? Now I want this to come out as money. So it's 7 years. So I'm going to put 7 years here, 7 years here, and I'm going to put $900 here and $900 here because those are the numbers I need. Now, what is the amount of interest? So I'm solving for interest. So I'm going to put a big I in both over here so I remember what I'm doing. Account 1 is simple. So I'm going to take that 900 because the formula says I'm going to start here. I equals PRT. Okay, so for account 1, I'm going to do I is equal to 900 times 0.03 times 7. I'm going to solve that math, but I want it in money form, so I'm going to put it on mode 2. I'm going to go down and get to my hundredths place, hit second quit. I'm going to write 900 times 0.03 times 7, and that is 189 and 00. And if you notice, I just solved for interest. So I'm going to come down way down here. Account 1 is $189. Okay, box it, there's my answer. Okay, for account 2, it's compounded. Well, that means I solve for the account balance, all right? So that is P times 1 plus R to the power of T. So I'm going to put all my information in there. So that is A equals 900 parentheses 1 plus 0.035 to the power of 7. I'm going to put that in my calculator. 900 parentheses 1 plus 0.035 parentheses to the power of 7. Get out of exponent land, hit enter. And I get 1145.05. Now remember, that is A. That's my account balance, and I need to know interest. So how do we solve for interest? Well, I know that I started with how much money? 900, and I ended up with 1145, so I obviously made money. So my interest in account 2, because this would be account 2, I guess I should have indicated that, okay? I'm going to take 1145.05 and subtract my principal, which is 900. So I take my account ending balance, which is 1145.05, and subtract my account balance, and I get 245.05. So account 2, which that's a Roman numeral 2, okay, is equal to 245.05. Okay, so actually compound interest always ends up being more expensive, and that's why I keep saying you don't ever want to take a loan for compound. Now, if it had asked me the total interest that I would make, I would have just done 189 plus 245.05, and the total was $434.05, so I could just add them together. Okay, you need to think and you need to talk about this with your friend that you're working with. Okay, let's look at number 2. Larry has $2,500 to deposit into 2 different savings accounts. He will deposit $1,100 into account 1, which earns 2.4% simple interest. He will deposit $1,400 into an account 2, which earns 4% interest compounded annually. Larry will not make any additional deposits or withdrawals. What will be the total balance of these accounts at the end? So we want account balance. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to write an account balance. I'm going to change these interest rates into decimals first. So I'm going to go back and put this on mode float and hit second and quit. And I'm going to put 2.4 divided by 100. And I get 0.024. Okay. I'm going to put 4 divided by 100. And I get 0.04. So now I have both my interest rates. I know my principals. And my time is 48 months. Ooh, I can't use 48 months, can I? Okay. So, but I can divide that by 12. So 48 divided by 12 will give me how many years that is. And I get 4. So, here we go. For number 1, its account was simple. So account number 1, okay, I'm going to just do it this way right here. I'm going to use simple interest rate, I equals PRT. So I'm going to do account 1, then account 2. Account 1, I have I equals 1,100, and you could put it with your decimal point 00, times, what was my interest rate? I have to use the decimal form, don't forget, 0.024. And then I have to use my months converted into years, which is times 4. Let's see what this gives me. $1,100 times 0.024 times 4 gives me $105.06. Now it says, oh, I forgot to change my mode. That's why I'm getting 0.6. Mode. I want it to be on 2 because I want it to look like money. So I do that, hit enter again, and now it's going to give it to me where it looks like money. I want all your answer choices to look exactly like money. I don't want to see 0.6. I want to see 0.60. That is 60 cents. Okay? So we're going to write them all like money. Now remember, this was interest. And we are looking for account balance. So for a simple interest loan, how do I find account balance? How much I'm going to have in the end. This is how much money I would make off of $1,100 invested. But is that how much I end up with? $105.60? I hope you said no. We have to take how much we started with. So account balance would be how much we started with, which is our principal. And we would add how much we made in interest. So 1,100 plus 105.60. And that is how much total we have in that account right now. 1,205.60. We're not even done with this problem. This is why I said this might take you a while, but it's okay. You have 2 days, so don't rush it. You get it wrong, I'm just going to hand it back to you. So then you have to redo it all. Then you're going to be on a separate piece of paper because you won't have room because you've already used all your room. And I really would like you to use a separate piece of paper, but you know, I have figured out that forcing teenagers to do anything doesn't ever work. So you do what you're comfortable with, but make sure I can see your work. I need you to write down your information. I do not want to see just calculator work. So, second account, this is going to be account 2, okay, is compound interest, so that's A equals P parentheses 1 plus R to the power of T, okay? So what information do I have? Do I have my account balance? No. So A equals, do I have my principal? Hope you said 1,400. Parentheses 1 plus, what's my rate as a decimal? Up here it says it's 0.04 parentheses to the power of, what is my time? 4 years, not 48 months. So let's put that in. So I have 14, what mode am I in? I'm on 2, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to look like money, so that's good. Second and quit. 1,400 parentheses 1 plus 0.04 parentheses to the power of 4. Get out of there and hit enter. And I have solved for A, so it's $1,637.80. $1,637.80. Now, account balance. Remember, my whole thing was account balance, but let's see what I actually needed. What will be the total? So I should have written total account balance of these two accounts. Do I have the total yet? I have account balance for account 1. I have account balance for account 2, but I need the total. How am I going to find those? What does total mean? Add them together. So 1205.60 plus 1637.80. 1205.60 plus 1637.80 equals 2843.40. Total. There's my answer for total in both accounts. Now, I know this is taking me a little while to finish. That's okay. Remember, you have 2 periods. Last thing, we're going to have a little bit of spiral on this practice, I believe. So we have a little bit of spiral here. The graph shows the relationship between the number of gallons of fuel remaining in the tank of a semi-truck and the number of miles traveled by the semi-truck. So I need to find the equation. Which function can be used to find y, the number of gallons of fuel remaining in the tank of the semi-truck after it has traveled x miles? Okay, so I need to do my slope, because remember, an equation is y equals mx plus b. Let's remind us about these parts. Y is the total, m is the slope, x is the variable, and b is the y-intercept. So let's try and fill these parts in. Where is my y-axis? I hope you said right here. So if my y-axis is right here, where does this line cross the y-axis? Well, at 240. That's going to be my b. And it is positive, so I've got plus 240 x. I still need my slope, so I got y equals. So I'm trying to find my slope. Now, is this line, is it going down or up from left to right? Hopefully you said down. That means it's going to be a negative slope. And we need to do rise over run. So over here I'm going to write rise over run, and I'm going to put a negative sign. I got to pick 2 points I can count from. Well, I know for sure that I can count from here. And I'm not seeing where it's crossing any closer than 240. So I'm going to draw an up and an over. Okay? Now, remember, I've always said, first off, when you're doing slope on a graph, you have to decide whether it's negative or positive. The second thing you need to make sure is, what are your intervals? Well, let's see. Going this way, it's pretty obvious that I'm counting by 30s, isn't it? So these are 30s going up. So remember, my rise is first, so I went up 30. So I can put my 30 there. Now my run, how many am I counting across? Well, luckily I'm starting with this, so it's kind of easy to see. But if I had to figure that out, I've got 0, then I've got 100, and it looks like there's one line between them. What's halfway? Well, yeah, it'd be 50. So each line here is worth 50. Okay, so I've got from 0 to 300 would be 300. Then I always need to simplify. And so I see fractions and whole numbers. So if I put it in a fraction and it gives me a whole number, it will do work that way. So I am going to do negative 30 divided by 300, hit math, enter, enter, and I get negative 1 over 10. So negative 1 over 10, and that is my slope, negative 1 over 10. So my equation is y equals negative 1 over 10 plus 240. And if I look at this list, it looks like it's going to be D. Okay? All right, so that would be my answer. Sorry I went on for so long today, but you're going to have plenty of time to finish this. Have a great day.